Ryan, I didn't know you, so I didn't have your email address, but everybody else I sent out Rich's contract. Rich was so nice to share that information with us. He paid a lawyer for it. He's sharing it for free. Okay. So I sent out his actual contract, but then I sent out an ordinary plain language version of it that I made so I could understand it. So everybody's got it, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to go through it. I'm going to go through it in the ordinary English way. Okay. And is that suitable for everybody? And then okay. And Sasha, you know, if we don't get to her again today, she'll come back next week and ask the questions. Okay. So it says this agreement is between Cornerstone Search Associates and Company X. That's what it says first. Company X wants to use the services of Cornerstone Search to find candidates for employment. Any questions so far? Yes or no? Come on.
No.
Okay.
No questions.
Both parties agree to the following terms on this date. So that's if a candidate is presented to Company X by Cornerstone and they're hired as an employee, the following fee shall be paid. 30% of the employee's annual base salary. What struck me of interest there is Rich is placing salespeople and he bills his clients just on the base, not on the total package or the estimated.
I'm curious, how do you think you're going to get the accurate information on
a lot of people
how much they
do it.
earn?
You know what, Mike? I mean, a lot of people do it because you're going to require the W-2 at the end of the year or their commission statement or whatever.
Okay, so if you make a placement in May, the person starts in May, are you then receiving a chaser fee that is 5/12 or?
Yeah, you do it on their yearly total. I don't do it because I'd rather win the war than just the battle. I'd rather get 20 placements out of a company than the greedy pig who gets, one and goes after the full commission.
Yeah, I agree.
That's just me. I mean, I was talking to a buddy yesterday. He's more of a high end retained. He's getting, $150,000, $300,000 fees, but he's doing senior level VPs of like Pepsi and stuff, I think,
How can we get into that?
Just call higher. I mean, that's the best thing about making this job. If you want more money, call bigger companies, call bigger positions.
Yeah, but they don't want to talk to guys like me.
Not with someone who has that attitude. They want to talk to guys like me who say, dude, this is the fucking way we're going to get it done.
Okay. Yeah, your buddy's making
any chance
$300,000.
how many placements they
yeah, wait a sec. He just said his buddy's making the $300,000.
Yeah, but
he's not like those pigs, okay? He's not like those pigs.
No, he's doing more retain. He does 3 deals a year. I'll do 60 deals a year.
Okay.
And, be a lot more fun, different strategy. But at the end of the day, I'll make more money and don't have all my eggs in one basket. Okay. So, personal choice.
Next point. And Christine, she's gone. I was going to tell her she doesn't have to stay for this.
I'm here.
You don't have to stay for this if you don't want to. I'll still do an ad with you. I mean, I know you
I put that link in there for you too, if you saw the link.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have it, Rich. I'm going to take a look at it anyway. But listen, I am going to run because I have to be somewhere. But
when you want to do the ad, or you want to do. I'll talk to you on Messenger. I'll talk to you on Messenger.
Yeah,
okay.
maybe tomorrow.
I got to tell you, Sasha probably hates you right now. She's going to go to bed tonight thinking, I hate Christine. Okay.
I'm going to try and find her on LinkedIn.
I wanted to leave that with you. Okay. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, Christine.
Yes.
Nice meeting you.
Okay. Next point. Company X will pay the fee within 30 days after the candidate signs an offer of employment. Right? Anybody's got a thing? Okay.
I do the same thing, and then with I think it's 2% when they're late, and then also if they pay after the 30 days.
Rich has that, but he doesn't put in the percentage of the penalty fee.
It's 1.5% in there, but honestly, I've never charged for it. It's just in case you go to court.
Okay.
And it also voids the guarantee if they don't.
Yeah, he's got that. You just hold your horses there.
That's pretty hardcore. Like just voiding the guarantee. Like Rich, don't people say?
Yeah, it's pretty hardcore.
No way.
It's pretty hardcore when someone wants to screw me first. I mean,
but don't they negotiate that? It's like, hey man, no, this late payment, and then the guarantee's gone. No way. Yeah. Nobody does.
And your response should be, oh, okay, well then pay on time.
Yeah, seriously, how is that? I mean, hardcore.
No, I'm just curious about U.S. culture. If they is this the point to negotiate on, or
the U.S. in the Northeast, we don't like to bend over, is that they say. I mean, if they're late paying you, it's not my God. Why? I mean,
You're not a client
You
then.
pay late. You pay whatever you
Ivan's
want.
right. Ivan's right. 30 days is not, bend over material. Okay.
15 days should be like how most organizations expect to be paid, especially these sales organizations that we're talking to.
Yeah.
They're not going to deliver a massive HVAC system if they haven't been paid.
Yeah.
Okay.
You think IBM's going to back up the truck?
No, they may. Yeah, but IBM's dying. So
Oh,
they
yeah,
won't.
boy, Michael G. Cox is very passionate about this.
No,
Okay.
it annoys me. It annoys me
Exactly.
to be surprised that they have to pay on time.
It's another. No offense, Ivan, but another recruiter to say, "Oh my God, you're paying. You're going to be hard. You're going to be mean to your client who's screwing you."
Hold up, hey, Ivan.
I dropped one of my best clients after years because they took 3 months to pay me, and the guy was like giving me on attitudes. I said, "Go fuck yourself. I'm going to move on to the next."
90
one.
days is not bad, in my opinion.
My contract says 30, and you know what? And then the guy's giving me the attitude for trying to get paid.
Ivan, his contract should say 30 days or fuck you. Okay, that's what it's.
Ivan, what is the norm in your neck of the woods?
No, of
Hey,
course,
whatever.
like the norm is you pay on time, but sometimes startups, sometimes they delay, and I'm never like, I just want, like, if a client delays, I just want them to reach out proactively and say, hey, the payment will come in 2 weeks. But I got from Ernie in another call, it's like, oh, here almost no one pays on time. So in my memory, it was like, okay, in the US, apparently it's like nobody pays on time. And if it's the case, then in which it's like,
if you're a weak-wristed recruiter, you're not going to get paid on time.
Isn't that sexist or something these days?
It's an old term. It just means if you're being weak, whatever. If you're,
but like you're paid.
you run your business like a business, you're going to get paid on time.
Of course.
Or there's consequences, and then you decide how severe you want those consequences to be.
Yeah.
You know,
I love that. I love that because exactly this point, as you said, no like person will like in the beginning say, hey, how about, actually you're right, like they will never say, hey, how about this payment late thing, because then you're already suggesting that you plan to pay late. So I bet no one discusses this point because it will make them look like silly, right? It's like we are not even having a relationship. I'm like, yeah, so how about this late payment stuff? So I love this point where you just like push them back and say, okay, well, then the guarantee is gone. It's like kind of very strong.
Donna wants to say something.
Donna, let me just finish the thought. But what other state ground do you have? If you let the guy say, oh, just pay whatever. Oh, and I'm just going to still get a guarantee the guy, even though you paid me 6 months late.
No, dude, there has to be a give and take. So if they're going to take something, you've got to get something
in return. So like my clients, if they want a longer warranty period, that's great. The fee goes up. We all win.
And that's kind of standard. I hear about that a lot. Donna.
Well, I realized I probably jumped ahead, but you guys had already jumped ahead because you were already on number 5. But then that made me read number 4. But with your guarantee about people being fired, right? It's like if they get fired
later.
over the next 4 days.
Why are
I know,
you
we're
jumping
already
so
later.
far ahead?
Donna,
We're already later.
Donna,
Know your place.
Later.
We're going back. I'm taking charge
Are you
again.
gonna go back?
Yeah,
All right.
I'll get
you
there.
Take control because they were on number 5. So
Well, I don't know
moving
where
on.
they were. Okay, hold on. Okay,
Donna, how
company
can you start the
X.
show? God.
Okay, company X has to pay a fee if the candidate is hired by the client or by its affiliates or by any person or business to whom company X has referred the candidate within 1 year of Cornerstone's most recent communication about that candidate. Okay, so within 1 year of talking to the client about that candidate, if they refer the candidate to somebody else, then they have to pay you. The question is how you figure out that they referred the candidate. Wait, the candidate can say, "I got another job."
The question.
Shit, man.
At the end of the day, you're not. Listen, the terms are in there just as a case. You're not going to go hunt it down. But I did have a software a long time ago. I used to use this company called Read Notify, and it would literally send you a map of everywhere that contract went, like the link went. And every time they opened it, it would tell you who opened it, when they opened it, where they were. And I actually did catch one company referring candidates, so.
I had one of those a few years ago before I went solo. I was doing a little side hustle and I had a client, and the sales manager that I was sending my candidates to was taking my candidates, turning around and giving them to his buddy who owned his own little recruiting firm. And I went after them, and they actually ended up firing him and paying me a fee.
Good for you.
Wow, that's terrible. That's
I couldn't care
terrible.
less.
People suck.
Fuck him.
I
the
didn't
recruiting.
even had in my
Good,
head
man.
that this could happen. Like, I'm so naive. I didn't even realize this is a possibility.
But you're
Oh my
writing
God.
every day on Twitter and Facebook how you've learned since you became a recruiter how deceitful people are. If someone's honest,
More
it's a miracle.
candidates. I expect like companies to be more like professional by default.
No.
I expect
Dude, everyone is
candidates
out for themselves.
Hey, Jerry
So
had a
sooner you-
great,
Yeah. Well, the sooner you
Jerry-
realize everyone's out for themselves, the sooner you realize it, because you people suck, and guys the companies are there to save their own ass. They're there to make whatever money they can, and
Yeah.
if it's easy to flip, I mean, there's recruiters giving it to other recruiters, just giving it to other friends and other companies. Happens all the time.
You say
Jerry
that
had a
if-
great,
I might sue you, Michael G. Cox, if you quote Jerry by name. Go ahead.
whatever. Jerry had a great way of putting it. He said basically, like, if you take your tools to, you're a plumber, you take your tools to somebody's house, and then if you stop using the tool, you've done the fix, and then they take your tools that maybe you didn't use, like that crescent wrench, and then they just give it to the next person that might have needed your services. You can't leave your tools behind. In this case, the candidate, access to the candidate, resumes, and just let them use them.
Yeah, that's great. Ryan, do you have something you want to say? I'm just checking. Ryan, do you have something you want to say?
No, and I apologize. I was texting because there's stuff going on in our industry.
Oh, you don't have to
today,
pay
and
attention
people-
even. I don't make that demand. I want
Well,
to give
no,
you a
but I
chance.
I am
Donna's
trying
not
to-
taking care of you. Okay, I am.
trying to listen and get as much as I can out of the conversation. And
You
I
can
did.
watch
and
it
thank you.
anytime. You're working for somebody anyway. You're not making your own contracts,
I will
although you
tell-
should in the future.
Oh, what a burn.
That wasn't
Burn
an
on
insult. It wasn't an
It kind
insult.
of sounded like
Either which
one. It
way,
kinda
Michael
sounded
sent
like
it to me, so I have it to read along. So.
Okay, great. Michael G. Cox is a swell guy. That's why he's on every podcast. Okay.
I forwarded it to you, Ryan. I don't
Okay.
get some credit. Look at your
Okay,
email.
okay.
Oh, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't see
Donna
that.
is also a swell guy.
Yeah, a girl.
No,
Okay,
no,
well, I
no,
get it.
no.
Girl is an affectionate term. You know, the people had a
We've
big complaint.
established he can call me that. I don't
You know,
mind.
they got a huge complaint on Facebook. There was everyone ignored the real issue, and they said he referred to her who accepted the contract as a girl. You know, not the fact that she got $100,000 more or something like that on her counteroffer. But let me get back to Rich's famous contract. I told you we're going to beat this to death.
Are we
okay?
on number 4 yet?
No, our fees are payable if you engage the services of a candidate. Does that mean that's been referred to directly or indirectly? Does that mean if you hire them part-time or for some consulting or something like that, Rich?
What was the line? You lost me.
Our fees are payable if you engage the services of a candidate
Yeah.
who's been referred to you. Okay,
Yeah,
so that's
so-
it. You don't hire them, but you engage their services.
Yeah, if you use them as a
Exactly.
consultant or 1099 or consultant, whatever.
Because you made the connection.
Okay. We're at the guarantee, Donna. If the client terminates,
Yay.
this is like a Seder, we're at this point now. If the client terminates the employee within 30 days of the employee's first day and has paid the fee, Rich will try hard to replace the new hire at no cost. Okay, but the company agrees not to change the job order. Essentially, that's what the contract says. Am I right?
Mhm.
Donna, did you want to add to that?
I have a question. Do you have anything about if the candidate quits? Like,
No.
are you saying that's just their fault if the candidate quits, or
No, I mean,
I
it's
didn't see that
terminated.
addressed.
Whether they terminate, he terminates. To me, it's the same thing.
either way?
But there's
Okay,
no
Doesn't
law.
say
that was
it.
my question.
She caught you.
Doesn't matter.
Your test would have a red mark there. Okay.
Well, I mean,
Well, that
technically,
is what I wanted.
technically it wouldn't, because you know what? I mean, if it quits, he quits. I mean, at the end of the day, the contract, it's not in the contract. I wouldn't need to technically, I suppose. If he quits, we're gonna do what we have to do. I mean, you're in it for business, but why would you put it in there on your own?
Okay, but you will not Rich will not honor a guarantee. Those are the words I'm using. If the employee is terminated as a result of changes in the job, hours, or salary. So if, there's an
Or change in
agreement.
that, or change in management, or economic.
Okay, well, yeah, okay, I was gonna go through them one at a time, Rich, but I will. Okay, or if the company has financial problems, yeah,
Mhm.
that doesn't count. If there's a change in management at any level or a change in the client's ownership, the contract is void, right?
It
Or
came
the
in.
guarantee, the guarantees.
It came in handy during COVID, I gotta tell you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Tell us the story. Tell us the story. You gotta tell it. Tell it.
I had a client, they hired a guy right before COVID to cover oil and gas, sell it to oil and gas, which was already in the dumper anyway. And then COVID hit and it really got crushed. And, so they ended up, and they brought a new manager in too, now that I think about it. So they, doesn't really matter. So they're like, hey, we got to replace the guy. And I'm like, hey, we're not doing it. They weren't exactly slow in paying, but they did pay after the 30 days. But they changed they got a new manager in, and they'll like the guy quit because the industry dried up. There was no one selling. You couldn't get anything done in that particular space at that time. So
Guy quit though. They didn't terminate him.
No, he quit.
After how many days?
He was there. This contract's a little different. This one, he was there, I think, for 2 months.
And he quit and you didn't honor the guarantee. Is that right?
No.
Anybody got a comment? Ivan? Too tough? Bend over? No.
They're very specific.
I mean,
wasn't
listen,
there. I don't know.
I mean, they agreed to the terms. They broke like half of them.
Okay.
New manager, and it was really the manager was the major reason he quit because the guy was an asshole. So it's not.
Did you tell the company that the
Yeah.
manager's a goof?
Yeah, because I had someone else quit like 6 months later too. Same thing. They got fed up with the guy, and the guy eventually got fired. That manager.
Are you still working with that company?
Oh God, no.
Okay. Any Donna? This was a very big interest of yours, or were you just trying to
Well, he
find that
answered
one
it.
thing? One thing
That was the
didn't
only
say.
thing, because I noticed when I read it in advance that was something I didn't see. And I've had
prepares.
candidates, I've had candidates who did quit, and then we have tried to find the replacement. So
Yeah,
and I just wondered.
Yeah, I mean, we'll do one replacement. I mean, reality is I've only had maybe 7 or 8 people actually quit over 26 years that enact any of this stuff.
Mhm.
But it's all about, protection. Everything's at the beginning of a contract, everyone's lovey-dovey. It's all fantastic. But when things go south, suddenly you need a contract because CFOs get involved, CEOs, lawyers, all that good stuff.
Lovey-dovey, lovey-dovey, lovey-dovey all the time. You know that song?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Lovey.
Yeah.
Hey,
A late payment.
Sorry.
Late payment, a monthly charge. This is what Michael G. Cox was jumping ahead with, and Donna was catching him on. A monthly charge of 1.5% of any unpaid amount shall accrue until the client pays the full placement fee, plus any accrued charges. I don't know what does that accrued charges mean?
Just like
The penalty. Okay. Yeah. The guarantee shall be void if they don't pay on time, and the client shall pay any costs incurred to collect, including attorney's fees. So if you play a collection agency like I can't remember his name, the backdoor hires company. What's his name?
Wilson Cole.
Yeah, if you pay Wilson Cole, you charge that to the company.
Yeah.
You add his fee to the bill, and he collects it. Wow. Okay.
Sometimes, I mean, listen, I've only had to use them once, but I mean, sometimes they can collect, sometimes they can't. You just agree.
Okay.
You've
got a separate point. This agreement may not be amended, modified, or waived without Rich's consent. Right.
Yeah, there's all actually, and then Zach added another one for me because he was a lawyer. And there's severance clause, which is an important one to have in there because it basically states if any of these other terms are deemed illegal or broken or whatever, it doesn't or void. It doesn't void the rest of the contract.
Did you call your lawyer back and say, look, this junior kid I've got working for me had to add something to your contract that I paid you for?
This contract I've used for so long, literally for 20 years.
Is Zach still with you?
Hey,
He is.
What do you know?
Curious. Rich,
I was gone
curious.
last week. Yeah.
Up until this point, section 5, which of the sections are typically being pushed back on most often by a prospective client?
I always love Michael's got such good questions. The There you go. This is Michael G. Cox. Don't get confused.
I know it was Michael G. Cox. I know it was Michael G. Cox. You wouldn't say the recruiting animal asked good questions.
I'll
Okay.
have you know, I'm the only Michael here. He's the
That's
recruiting
true.
animal.
Yeah, good for you.
So people will push back on the warranty length. They'll want, normally they'll want longer warranty. They'll want a lower fee. They'll want the normal stuff. Occasionally I'll get people cross out like the change in managers issue like at any level. But I mean, I literally tell them no. I mean, this is the agreement. In this current market, I mean, there's just not enough time to adjust contracts, quite frankly. So I'll walk away. From
I got a question related to one of Michael G. Cox's brainchilds, which is going to stay with me forever now. Sales finesse. I talked about you, Rich, you weren't here, okay? But I said that you are very blunt. You are very blunt. You're like unfiltered, which you're just saying. I say no, but you do it in a way that sort of lightens the load. It doesn't come down like a hammer on these guys.
Definitely not.
It kind of normalizes. Hey, this is the current business that we're in. This is where we're at, and the demand is very high, and the supply is very low. And
he doesn't say that. That's you.
But you can normalize it rather than just saying. Using a recruiting animalism and saying, nah, fuck you. Nah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, listen, people generally like me because I'm very direct and honest with them, but I don't say it like a jerk. Like,
how would you say it? They say, oh, Rich, I'm this, if they change the manager and the guy leaves because of that, no way. We're not doing that. What would you say? What would you say? I want to hear the words.
Oh my God, I'm going to take a seat.
Ryan wants to know. So when he starts his own company, he's got the script right there. Come on.
All right. So when they start pushing back on things, you just tell them, listen, I mean, if it's the fee, if it's the length of warranty, if it's these different terms, and I say, listen, it's all risk and reward. We can do whatever you want.
Am I the only one who can't hear?
Can you not hear?
I can hear him fine.
Well, you're good, Rich. Keep going.
Yeah. So it's all risk and reward.
I can't hear a thing you're saying.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I feel like I'm talking to my grandpa.
Go ahead.
Talk to me, buddy. I can hear you.
There you go.
We hear you.
We'll translate. But any event, it's all about risk and reward. And you tell them, hey, listen, I mean, we can make the warranty longer, but you can't expect me to actually take the risk up front and then the risk on the back end. So I mean, you want 45 days, that's great. It's going to jump the fee up 5 points. If you want a longer candidate, if you want a shorter candidate ownership, that's great. But it's going to jump it up 15 points because, I mean, listen, roles go on hold all the time, and I'm likely just to get screwed. So, I mean, but it's all how you, like Animal said, it's all how you deliver it.
I think part of that is that you've got a supply of other clients that you're currently working with that make you more comfortable in laying this out. I think but listen, the hardest part of this. But
you're not wrong. But at the same time, when I hit a big skid, we talked about a long time ago, I had like 17 deals in a row blow up. All right. I literally fired my clients and said, fuck you. I needed a retainer now. I need an engagement fee, and if you don't want to do it, don't do it. But the point is, yes, I've got a lot of clients, but you always need to act confident. If you're going to act like you're desperate for their business, they're going to trample you. And you're going to give in. You're going to have these dumb contracts, 90-day refunds and all these other silly things that there's zero reason to do. I mean, I just got a recruiter call me today for a split for the 90-day refund. I'm like, are you kidding me? 90 days for a sales guy is insane. You don't, especially in this market, you don't need to do those things. So
the thought of going to a client and saying, hey, I want to keep doing work with you, but it's now only a 30-day thing, a 30-day guarantee. It makes me feel a little nervous and anxious, but what I have found is the hardest thing is to ask.
Yeah.
And then when you make it normal, hey, okay, well, my terms are 25%.
I mean, but I tell you, this is
like,
how,
okay.
When I do engagement fees, this is how I get retainers. I just tell them, listen, there's no, like, I have friends that do these big, beautiful retainers and these pitches and these proposals. And I mean, all this ridiculous stuff. My whole pitch is, hey, listen, if you're serious, it's 25% up front, with 25% fee with a $10,000 or $15,000 retainer up front, non-refundable, of course. If you're, if you're not that serious, that's fine. It's 30%. We'll throw it on the pile with the rest of the contingent clients, and we can find the right folks. I'll send them over to you. And then you don't stop talking and let them answer. You'd be amazed how many people are like, all right, well, we really need this. We'll give you the 15 grand.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on a second. The thing, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
No.
Okay, I couldn't hear for a while. I couldn't hear for a while. It cut me out for some
Damn
reason.
it, Ryan.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah,
Hey,
hold on a second. I
guy.
missed. I said, Rich, give me the exact words, and I pretended that it was for Ryan, but it was for me personally. Okay. I want to hear the exact words. Can you tell me how you tell those guys? Like I listened afterwards, I could hear, and you were saying, "Yeah, just I don't need them, right? Yeah, I got. Is that?
But that's the
shrugging my
attitude-
shoulders. What did you actually say?
But
to
that's
them?
the attitude you have.
It's not
to
just
have.
attitude. It's a bit of reality mixed in with that.
It is, but even when the market wasn't like that, I did the same thing.
Words. I want the words.
Words.
Tell me, recruiting
ahead, go
animal.
No,
You want 90 days? I'm not giving you that.
Yeah, so
It's-
I literally say, listen, it's a risk and reward situation. I mean, if you want a longer warranty, then the fee's going to go up. If you want shorter candidate ownership, the fee's going to go up. So if you want,
I want to hear you say no. Do you ever say the word? Ryan will get to you.
Of
Don't
course.
worry. Do you ever say no? No,
100%.
sorry, Bill.
If it's a search I'm not really that excited about and I don't really want, yeah.
So you say no, Bill.
I just say no, this is what it is.
If you want 90 days, that's okay with me, but I'm going to charge you 50% fee. Is that
Yeah.
how you put it?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah,
if,
I
and
mean,
you don't
literally.
care. And the thing is, you don't need them, so you don't care. And that's what creates this nonchalant attitude. Rich is a
No, this
very
is what I'm saying.
nonchalant kind of a guy.
This
He's
is what I was saying.
nonchalant.
This is what I was saying earlier. When I went through a skid of 6 months where I closed like one deal out of like 17 or whatever the hell.
Give
it was.
Ryan a chance, okay? He's
But
muted
I'm
it,
answering
Bill.
your question. This
Yeah,
is
I
what
heard that
felt.
part. I heard that part.
Okay, there you go.
Ryan, go ahead.
Well, no, I wanted to
No,
piggyback.
that's Rich talk.
I wanted to piggyback on what Rich was saying. First and foremost, is just what I was saying. One, because it really boiled down to one word: confidence. I mean, Rich just basically said it's just a matter of laying it out on the table and saying this is what my terms are.
Yeah.
I had a similar situation personally. I normally don't deal with the clients, but I had an opportunity because I'm meeting a VP and tried. So I talked to an internal recruiter. She came back with 20%, 90 days, and I was like, nope, And I wrote a very nice, courteous email, but I basically just said, like, it's not fair to you for us to get into those terms because you're be deprioritized. It's not going to be an important search for us because it's not meeting the level that we have for our normal terms, which is very similar, 25%, 30 days.
I got to tell you something. You sound more like a teacher. He's got more of a musical way of talking. Okay, so I won't torture you about that. I won't torture you about that. Because it's your first time. If you come back though, get ready.
But he's right.
Okay,
I
I don't
just
want to
talked
cheat
the way I
Ivan.
talk.
Ivan
just
wants
talked the
to
way I
hear you.
talk, Emma.
Ivan
Hold
missed
up.
out on. So go ahead.
Isn't-
Ivan.
Hold up.
it a huge-
Ryan is right, but still too wordy. The weirdest thing that has happened is I literally told a client, yeah, and because I was nervous, I'm not going to say 25% or 30% because, ooh, what will they say? So I told this client, yeah, well, the fee is 22%. And I was like shaking in my boots because I'm normally at 20%. And this guy says, oh, okay. I'm like, well, shit, I probably could have said 25%. I
Yeah.
will next time.
Ivan.
Ivan,
Isn't it important, like, whether, like, they come to you, right? They call, hey, hello, Rich Rosen, we heard you are really good. Can we work with you? This is something different than if you are like cold calling, like someone is like, hello, I have a candidate for you. Can I send it to you? Like, complete. I can't imagine that you get the same quality contracts with the latter case where you are the one coming to them because
No,
they're
it's
like,
fair.
yeah, okay.
Why would it be different?
Yeah, because like
It's all a
it shouldn't
mindset.
be, but
It's all a mindset though. Why would it be different? I mean,
yeah, for you psychologically, right? Because
Yeah,
let's say you can't place someone. You can place someone with like 2 jobs. And the
Ivan,
third
he's
one you're
not
like, oh,
desperate. Okay, he
Yeah.
thinks he's doing them a favor by marketing the
But that's-
candidate to
that's-
them.
and-
Okay,
and
he's
that's
not
the
begging them.
attitude. But if you're a good recruiter, that's the attitude you should have, is that they should be lucky to work with you. If you do this job right, you're making more money than your clients, and therefore your time is technically more valuable. Obnoxious way to think about it, absolutely, but it's also accurate. So
True,
have that
but like-
mindset that they need you. There's 1,000 jobs out there right now. I mean, I guarantee I could probably pick up 50 jobs in the next 2 days if I wanted to. All right, and I bet you could too. There's just so many opportunities, right, in this particular market. So why would you bend over for anyone? Why would you not take, why would you take a bad contract that's not fillable? or that's going to be a less fee than something else because you only have time. That's your only asset.
But you said you sometimes lead with the candidate, like you send the candidate, okay, this is a great candidate, and then you already have done all the work, and then the client says, well, you
opportunity costs. It's opportunity cost because if I
you still wouldn't do it then. You're like, no, I can hire this person for 22, we do 25.
No, because I could give it to the guy next to me who's going to give me another $5,000 for it. Why? So why would I? I mean, this is the middle of COVID. Yeah, I'd probably, bend over and do whatever they want to get the money, but not now.
It's a revelation from Rich. I won't turn that into a clip, Rich.
Thank you.
Don't worry about it. Okay.
That I appreciate.
Should we finish up? Should we finish the contract? Okay.
Quick question. Oh,
Yeah.
no, if it's
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
I just want to ask Rich, are you in Connecticut?
I'm Boston.
Boston? Oh, I'm a former Rhode Islander, and I just kept seeing the peaking top of the
Oh
Hartford
yeah,
Whaler
it's
shirt.
the old Whalers.
That was an important
Where are you now?
Tampa, Florida.
Ah, very nice, very
He's
nice.
down there with Donna. Okay, so these are okay. This is interesting. This agreement excludes all others. Okay, so even if you've got other, you're working with other hiring managers in the company, this is unique, and those other agreements don't influence this one. If you've charged them less in the past, that has no influence on this. Essentially, this is valid in an absolute sense without any relation to anything else. Essentially, is that what it says?
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
It's
Okay.
supersedes
Now,
other contracts.
Here's the answer to Ryan jumped the gun. Okay. The laws of Massachusetts, this agreement shall be governed by the laws of Massachusetts. Any claim related to this agreement shall be prosecuted exclusively in Massachusetts. And finally, the validity of the component parts. In case any provision of this agreement proves invalid, okay?
There you go. The severability clause. There you go.
What's it called?
I think it's a severability clause.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything to normal people. Thank you. Okay, but if any part of the agreement is for some reason illegal or misconceived, it doesn't affect the other provisions. They are still valid. Does anybody else want to comment on this contract? I have to say, Sasha, if you're listening to this, now I'm feeling really guilty. I mean, this was your show. You wanted this, and we had to conduct it without you, okay? So I will spend as much time as necessary on this contract stuff until you are satisfied. Although I will say that thanks to Rich Rosen and the other participants here today, this is probably the best show about agency contracts in recruiting history. Okay, I don't care what anybody else says. Who else has gone through word for word a super recruiter's contract? It's an honor to be able to participate in this show. Anybody else want to talk about anything? Final word.
Thank you, Rich.
Thank you for
Rich.
sharing the contract, but also thank you guys for having me. I appreciate the insights.
Ryan, it's our privilege to have you here. I just want you to wave.
All 6 listeners here,
Yeah, you know what?
Okay.
I like the show. I'm the biggest fan. Okay.
He's getting like 8 views on YouTube. I'll have you know.
I think we're gonna hit double digits this week. So.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much, everyone.
Thanks,
Take care, everyone.